Alright, welcome back to the channel. Warhammer Man back in the studio. Let's take a look at this week's Path of Preview. So we know the AELDARI Codex is coming on pre-order this coming week, so let's take a look at some of our final rules reveals. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you to make sure to like and subscribe for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team, Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, and warcry content as well. So get ready to be frightened of Wraith Knights again. Codex AELDARI hits pre-order this week. It's the most comprehensive AELDARI Codex ever, with 200 pages of background, rules, datasheets, and more. We've seen how to include harlequins in your force, how battle focus has improved, and how to build an army around a Phoenix Lord. Now we're looking at the big upgrade for Wraith Knights. So we see a couple of Wraith Knights here with quite a few Wraith Construct units backing them up. You can see how massive these dudes are also next to the Pirate King and a Wraith Guard and Wraith Lord. Man, these things are massive. So that's a Wraith Knight. These are Wraith Guard in the background, and that's a Wraith Lord. And then that is a human-sized model. So nice big chunky models, nice detail. Wraith Knights are massive constructs that tower over even the Wraith Lords, but unlike their smaller cousins, they contain a living pilot. They've always been powerhouses in games of Warhammer 40,000, but now they've been taken to the next level. The legendary robustness is reflected by a new ability that reduces incoming damage from enemy attacks, Wraithbone Form. Each time an enemy attack is allocated to this model, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack to a minimum of 1. As if that weren't enough, the Wraith Knight's ability means they can dance between incoming attacks. In the past, you have to decide between the protection of a Scattershield or adding additional devastating weapon. Now you can have the best of both worlds. Agile Construct gives this model a 5+ invulnerable save. So that is interesting. I wonder if the Scattershield will just give them a better invulnerable save in combat then. That is definitely interesting. Pretty cool. So -1 damage, 5+ invulnerable save. Don't worry if you're a fan of the Scattershield though. If you include one of these defensive devices, you can boost your invulnerable save to 4+. Okay, so there's the answer to my question. It does not say specifically in hand-to-hand combat, so it looks like it's just going to overall give him a +1 to his invulnerable save. So -1 damage, 4+ invulnerable save, pretty good. These new abilities will help you march across the battlefield with impunity, so you can chop things up with your Titanic Ghostglaive. It now has a choice of profiles, meaning you can sweep aside weaker opponents or strike down a bigger, scarier target. So the Titanic Ghostblade, which is his sword, the strike profile is +6 strength, AP -4, damage 6. The sweep profile is strength user, AP -3, damage 2. And each time an attack is made with this weapon profile, make 3 hit rolls instead of 1. So you get triple the attacks with the sweep attack at -3, damage 2. Or you get your weapon or attack profile at +6, -4, 6 damage. So this dude can dish out quite a bit of damage. I mean, assuming he just has 6 attacks, you know, max melee damage would be like 36 with the strike attack. 6 damage apiece at -4. Strength probably 14. And with the sweep attack, you would have 18 attacks at roughly strength, let's say 8, maybe 7. -3 damage, -3 AP, 2 damage. I mean, so realistically, this dude could easily destroy a vehicle or, you know, an entire unit of Primaris Marines or whatever. Very powerful. Strength 8 might be a little too strong because then he's wounding toughness 4 stuff on 2s as opposed to strength 7. He's wounding on 3s. I think that's probably more likely. But 6 attacks seems pretty reasonable. For those autarchs and spirit seers who prefer to wipe out their enemies from afar, you can replace the Ghostglaive with a sun cannon. This mighty gun has also been improved. You could call it a real star of the new Codex. Oh, great joke by Games Workshop. Sun Cannon, 48-inch range, heavy 2d6, strength 8, -3, 3 damage with blast. So you're going to get an average on 2d6 of 7 shots. Let's say he has ballistic skill 3. Should hit with 5 of those at strength 8. So against a toughness 8 target, you're going to wound on 2 to 3. Against a toughness 7 target, you're going to wound on probably 3, maybe 4. Going to take away most things save. So let's say we wound with 3, that's going to be 9 damage. Let's say we wound with 4, it's going to be 12 damage. Blast gives it technically the ability to hit multiple in a unit. So if you shoot like a... Yeah, I mean, you could do quite a bit of damage with this. I don't think it's like... I mean, 7 shots is kind of a lot, but it's not game changer. Now, it does have some other weapons, guns as well, so... the Sun Cannon was always pretty good at killing armored infantry, but it is now upgraded to a sweet spot of damage 3. This means that even elite or durable infantry such as Custodian Guard and Plague Marines will quiver at the sight of it. So obviously Custodian Guard with 3 wounds, Plague Marines -1 damage, 2 wounds. So to be able to, each shot that goes through would kill 1 instantly. So that is very good. At strength 8, it can vaporize medium-sized vehicles in a single volley. Needless to say, all of the Wraith Knight's weapons are pretty scary, though. Get ready to pre-order the new AELDARI Codex this weekend by picking up the Wraith Knight for yourself. More reveals from AELDARI coming this week. So, Sun Cannon is pretty good. Definitely decent amount of damage. At strength 8, it's really going to shine against medium to light vehicles. So toughness 7 stuff is where this is really going to hurt. And then obviously, you know, Plague Marines, things that are normally 2 wounds with -1 damage, the 3 damage is going to kill them outright. And then stuff like Custodian Guard, however, strength 8, you're going to be wounding the Custodian Guard on 3s. So it's still good, but, you know, assuming 7 shots and let's say again, you're getting 5 hits, wounding on 3s, you know, I mean, you're killing like 3 Custodian Guard without their saves, and then they have a, you know, 2-up save, maybe better than that in cover, possibly an invulnerable save. So when it's all said and done, I mean, what's this thing really doing? Killing like 1 Custodian? I mean, that's a lot of points. Its shooting is good, but it's not amazing. Now, the Ghostglaive, on the other hand, could dish out quite a bit of damage. But again, the sweet spot is completely different. You know, 6 damage is obviously not going to be good against something like Plague Marines or Custodian Guard. It's going to be good against like a big, thick vehicle. Or Knight or something like that. The sweep attack is good, but now against something like Death Guard, you're doing 1 damage each, so it's going to take 2 attacks to kill a Plague Marine. Or, alternatively, 2 attacks to kill a Custodian Guard. Now, granted, you're getting 18 attacks now instead of, like, you know, let's say the 7 with the gun. So, going to probably kill much more with combat. And then, obviously, the 4-up save is going to make it much more durable. The damage reduction and 5-up save, possible of 4-up save, pretty good. Let's keep in mind, though, if he takes the sword and the shield, he still has minimal shooting attack. In this case, like, you know, a couple Starcannons or a couple scatter lasers or whatever, shoulder mounted. If he takes the big gun, what was that called? The Sun Cannon? Yeah, if he takes the Sun Cannon, you know, he is getting 2 of those. So really he's getting 14 shots. And then, you know, also 2 Starcannons or whatever he chooses. Scatter lasers, etc. So, pretty good. Definitely durable. The -1 damage, the 5-up or 4-up invulnerable save is pretty awesome. I mean, having the invulnerable save regardless is huge. Not having to take the shield. So that is very good. And then obviously, depending what like Craft World keywords he gets, depending what other abilities you have, you know, stuff like Strands of Fate or various other things, could really make this dude a powerhouse. But again, we really have to see some more rules. The points are going to make or break any unit in the book, obviously. So, but very cool. I hope they're awesome. I really hope that Eldar is very good, fun, competitive, but also balanced and fun to play against. I don't want to see him come out broken, and then, everybody starts playing them, and then they get nerfed a little way down the road, and then they're not fun or competitive. I'd much rather see armies just come out and be pretty well balanced, but it is very hard to completely balance the meta and units and whatever. Until the Codex is in the hands of like tens or hundreds of thousands of people who are going to try to exploit it and break the game, you really don't always pick up on or see, true power of stuff. Now, we saw the little Wraithbone gate, the little star gate, and, something like that, pretty cheap if you can find a decent placement outside of your deployment zone, or even in your deployment zone, to stop from getting alpha struck. All of a sudden one of these dudes just pops out with melee or an avatar or something like that. I mean, halfway up the table. This could be pretty decent. So, and we know these have pretty massive movement. They're definitely quick and agile. Going to be a definite threat on the tabletop. So, but again, I would much rather just see a variety. I hope that the army is not only balanced against other people, but with itself as well. I hate to see armies where like they have one pivotal unit that everyone takes, like Hive Guard or something like that. I would much rather see the diversity because there's a bunch of great stuff in the units. I hope flyers are going to be back. I really like flyers. I feel like some of the nerfs lately, it's just hard for them to balance, I think. So same with these guys. It's tough to take an all-knight army. These are basically like the Eldar Knights. So I would love to see, one of these showing up in people's armies. But I don't want to see 3 of them in every army. So, it's all about that balance. But nice looking army here. I'm interested to see also, what they're going to do for the various craft worlds and their traits. In previous editions, it changed the actual army construction. I know some people have said they're not going to do that because they don't change army construction anymore. They literally just give people special rules. Looking at this picture right here, assuming this is a viable army, which, that is a bold assumption, we see an HQ, we see a couple of the big Wraith Knights, a couple flyers. We know the Dire Avengers in the back are elites now. And then we see a, Wraith Lord, a couple Wraith Knights, and a ton of Wraith Guard. We don't see any troops, though. And then obviously there's a big old tank in the back, too. So, does this mean that they're going to do what I suspect they're going to do and change the army composition so that, say, for instance, Iyanden can take the Wraith units as troops? Well, we'll have to wait and see. I would absolutely love to see that. I would love to see them bring back the old rules. Bael'tan could take the, Aspect Warriors as troops. Iyanden could take the Wraith constructs as troops. Same Han with the Bikers. Ulthwé has regular, Warlocks in with all their Guardians. Their Guardians are a little bit better, and then they have Warlocks like built into the squads, similar to like Thousand Sons, how they have Psykers in. So we'll have to wait and see. It's all speculation at this point in time, but so far it looks great. I love the models. I love the range, all the new stuff coming out. Definitely looking forward to seeing what Uriel and the Space Pirates or Corsairs have to do with everything. Obviously we see him in this picture, looking nice. Let me know what you think. Are you super excited about a specific, craft world? Are you waiting to see the rules before you pick your paint job? Are you going to do a custom color scheme so that you can switch between whatever rules you want? And, the paint job is less important, but the army construction is what matters. Definitely very curious. We've seen some very powerful rules with the, Strands of Fate and various other stuff. Overall, looks good. Until we see the points and all the rules, we won't know how balanced they are until we see them on the tabletop and everything. We know Tau got their new Codex. Everybody's really worried about that. Since then, they have taken down a couple GTs. So, does that mean they're broken? I don't think so. If we see them start finishing like nonstop on top, that's one thing. But overall, I think 40k is in a good place. We saw a good balance at the LVO. We're seeing some nice rules. We know Tyranids are coming down the pipe next. So, here's to, being optimistic. So, let me know what you think down below. Love to hear from you guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team, Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, and of course, warcry content as well. I am Warhammer Man. It's Warhammer Man Studios, and I'm out of here.